The tribunal dismissed her application for the reconsideration of its order on October 12th with costs, including the cost of two counsels. The SIU approached the special tribunal to freeze the pensions of Dr. Mhlongo after she resigned with immediate effect in June 2022 in the face of disciplinary hearing, which emanated from the SIU investigation in the affairs of the department relating to the procurement of personal protective equipment, PPEs, in the COVID-19 pandemic. Furthermore, the SIU investigation revealed that Dr. Mhlongo, as the accounting officer, allegedly exposed the department to a wasteful expenditure when she authorized the procurement and payment of 10,000 cell phones to the value of 10 million rand for COVID-19 household screening. The SIU said that the department could only distribute 388 of the 10,000 cell phones between September 2020 and March 2021, and the cell phones were distributed without requiring screening application. The order by the special tribunal is the continuation of the implementation of the SIU investigation outcomes and consequences management to recover assets and financial losses suffered by the state institution and or prevent further losses. The Speaker of Parliament names and shames the ministers who are late as she reads the Riot Act. Hot on Modisa's heels is former Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula, who resigned this week to focus on his full-time job as ANC Secretary General, with 18 questions unaddressed. Next in line is Cocta Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, who this week was moved to the position of Minister of Women, Youth and Children, and 12 outstanding written replies from her. Lindiwe Sisulu, who was fired as tourism minister by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Monday during the cabinet shakeup, is the fourth tardiest minister, with Mapisa Ngagula telling MPs she left office with 9 outstanding replies. Mapisa Ngagula embarked on the naming and shaming exercise just before the ministers in the cabinet cluster were able to take oral questions about the National Assembly, saying from now on she will throw the rule book at the wayward ministers. She said it was astounding that one of the written questions that remained unanswered by the end of the parliamentary term in December 2022 have since lapsed in terms of parliamentary rules and had been put as a question on paper by March 2022. This was despite parliamentary rules making it compulsory for ministers to respond to written questions from MPs within 10 working days. Shaking things up in Parliament. Kruger Park is ensnared in a corruption linked to criminal syndicates. Widespread corruption at the Kruger National Park linked to criminal syndicates in Mpumalanga and the murder of the honest rangers are at its greatest threat. At least 40% of Kruger Park's law enforcement employees are corrupt, and 70% of other park employees may be assisting poachers who have decimated the rhino population. This is according to researcher Julian Rademeyer, citing senior Kruger Park officials in a report for the European Union-funded Crime Response Organization in Act. In just that one section of the south part of the park, he found 14 of its rangers had been linked to poaching networks. Investigations by a private auditing firm, KPMG, and Hawks, focusing on the IPZ, which is the Intense Protection Zone, home of the most of Kruger's rhinos, have uncovered evidence of payments from syndicates to at least 50 staff from all the walks of life. All these numbers are likely to increase. Events leading to Khanya's death don't add up, says the grieving family. The Mokele family believe something is amiss about how officials at Little Ashford's preschool in Bedfordview have handled the death of their 3-year-old child, Khanya, who passed away earlier this week when a loose bookshelf collapsed on him, causing severe injuries. It's believed Khanya was in a classroom with friends during a snack time when he reached over for a toy on the 2-meter-tall bookshelf, leaning against the wall without any reinforcement. The massive structure lost balance and caved in on the toddler. The family doesn't dispute the chain of events up until here, with CCTV footage corroborating part of the school's account of the fatal incident. What the family says is sinister is what happened afterwards, including how long it took to inform Khanya's parents, but more importantly, how and when staff on site reacted, as well as the police's response time. The family was told Khanya was moved to the sickbay, where the staff administered CPR until paramedics arrived on the scene. Adding the toddler, who is believed to have suffered severe head trauma, was then stabilized before being rushed to hospital, where he later died. The upper floor of the school where the incident happened is a traumatizing sight, with copious amounts of dried out blood in two of the rooms, the rolls of tissue which would have been proven futile to anyone trying to stop the bleeding. None of the family members can retell the story without gasping for air. It's now 25 minutes before 10 o'clock as we continue. This is a moment of truth. Minister of Resources and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe has challenged former ESCOM CEO Andre de Ruyter to unmask the two cabinet ministers he alleges are involved in the corruption at the power utility. Speaking to the Sunday Tribune, Mantashe said that de Ruyter must come forward with the information, labeling and identifying who the ministers were. Which ministers? We want the people to identify culprits, and then we deal with that issue. Then the ANC can investigate, Mantashe said. Before his ousting by the ESCOM board last month, de Ruyter alleged during a television interview that there was rampant corruption at ESCOM. He said at least two ANC cabinet ministers were benefiting and 4 cartels operating in ESCOM were receiving 1 billion rand from corrupt activities. When quizzed about how a tainted and compromised public image of the ANC, Mantashe said there was motive behind such allegations. Monique still wants an apology from Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. The 55-year-old actress has opened up about her rift with the Hollywood heavyweights who produced her film Precious and then the production's director Lee Daniels, which began after she declined to promote the 2009 movie as she wouldn't be compensated for her time. And she claimed resulted in her being blackballed by the movie industry. She recalled that the Hollywood Reporter said, "I said, Oprah, I'm doing a talk show TV. I'm doing a comedy tour. I have a husband and I have babies. I have a little bit of downtime and I'm going to take advantage of it. So I'm not going anywhere because I'm not obligated to go anywhere. I've done my part." So we mutually agreed to disagree. That was it. Next thing I know, I'm considered difficult and hard to work with. While she has since mended her differences with Lee, the outlet noted that she still demands and expects public apologies from Oprah and Tyler Perry. Relations with the talk show host further declined after a month after Monique won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar for Precious when the 69-year-old media mogul hosted a comedian's family on an episode of Oprah Winfrey. While Oprah called Monique before recording the show to tell her that her brother Gerald Imes wanted to apologize for molesting her as a child, the shadow boxer actress declined to take part and gave her consent for the episode to go forward. However, when it aired, Gerald was joined on the show by their parents and the other brother and downplayed the abuse, with Monique particularly upset because she claimed Oprah knew she was not on good terms with her mother, so wouldn't have signed off on her appearance. She said, "I reached out to everybody I could to try to get Oprah. No, nothing. It just went dead." The son of the FIA president, Mohammed bin Saluyem, has passed away following a road crash in Dubai's motorsports governing body has confirmed. Saif bin Sulayem lost his life in a tragic accident, and in confirming that on Tuesday, the FIA added that its president had requested privacy and neither he nor the FIA will be issuing a statement on the matter. Ben Sulayem had followed in his father's footsteps in taking a keen interest in motorsport and cars from a young age, having also competed in the 2016 UAE Formula 4 series against the future Formula 1 drivers Oscar Piastri and Logan Sargent. While he recorded multiple top 10 finishes in the championship, he opted not to pursue a racing career internationally at the junior level, with his father having competed as a successful rally driver in his career. He was in attendance at the race opening Bahrain Grand Prix weekend and will continue to attend races as part of his remit as president. Everyone at planetf1.com sends their sincere condolences to Ben Sulayem family at this extremely difficult time.
We are extraterrestrial. We are KNR.